I know all y'all are bitching saying that I don't deserve this, and you're right.
This was the most viewed vehicle at SEMA this year. I wouldn't steer you wrong.
We're like the Beverly Hillbillies, man. We're rich. Let's go to a fancy restaurant. Out of all the cars y'all are going to see today, this is the one I'm in love with more than any other. Here's the deal with Chip Foose. I've gotten to know this fella really well, and all these times he's telling me these stories, I'm thinking, God, I wish I had a video guy on this. So I went to his shop. Why do Chip Foose cars bring millions of dollars? Chip's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. What is it about this guy's brain and his hands that's so much better than everybody else? This guy's won 8 Amber Awards. He's won 4 Riddler Awards. There is something weird about this guy, and I'm fixing to tour his shop with him and tell you deep cut stories that he's shared with me over time that blew my mind. To say I'm a fan at this point is an absolute understatement. Come take a walk with me. I'm fixing to get you behind the curtain. Delivery. Got a pizza for Spicoli.
Order the double cheese and sausage.
Right here, dude. Cool, cool. This is Michael Anthony's Nomad from Van Halen.
You may know Michael Anthony because he's the bass player of Van Halen, but I know Michael Anthony because he is a true car guy.
So this is the first time I've seen this. Chip's had it here for 3 weeks, 2 and 4 weeks.
I've only had it here a week. It was at Luke DeLay, which is Marcel's Custom Metal. Mm-hmm. That's who shaped this body for me 30 years ago.
Did he do anything while I was over there? Or is he
no,
licking the paint off of it?
My friend who brought it out, because we didn't pay for shipping.
Oh, good.
I designed aircraft graphics and traded for the shipping.
Well, thank you. And I also need to thank you for what you did on Friday, because if you hadn't have been there, they might have sold that son of a bitch for 80.
Yeah, oh, they would have.
You saw what happened to my other cars.
It's a fun car to drive. I'm holding my hand down right now because my wife would be pretty upset if I start bidding on this car.
Too bad you didn't own that Continental, that Lincoln, the four-door.
The rusty one.
Yeah. They went for $1 million.
I got a weird theory. Is there any chance that what you did in SEMA with this Lincoln this year, and I know there's a different Lincoln,
it's got attention going to Continentals
raise
right
the
now.
brand back up?
Yes.
Because there was a movement on Lincolns this year.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Mm-hmm,
I'm telling you, this guy's got a weird mojo thing. It's weird. Lincolns are on their ass. And this year, they were the oversellers by the well. But then he did this year at SEMA, and everybody's talking about it. And all of a sudden, Lincoln's come back.
This was the most viewed vehicle at SEMA this year. Now, I built a set of springs and lowering blocks for SEMA because the owner doesn't want this car as low as I had it at SEMA. Right. They want to drive it and use it. But we're taking it out to Pomona this weekend for the Grand National Roadster Show. Right. So we've got it on the lift because I'm putting these springs and the blocks back in it. 56 and 57 is when Ford decided to open the brand Continental, which was separate of Lincoln. This was never called Lincoln in any of the literature. Strictly a Continental. They went after Rolls-Royce with this. Okay. And this car was more expensive than a Rolls in 56 and 57.
Really? Next year, whatever you do. If you're going to make another revival car, then we ought to have a couple on the side to benefit from it.
Yeah.
If we're going to build the brand, you're going to build the brand back up.
And that's a Blueprint LS3 that we dressed to look like the Continental motor.
This is reminding me, actually, we did a video where I went and guy wanted to sell a 1,000 car collection. I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
But he didn't sell anything, but on the way out, he had one of these.
And you bought it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue one.
And
did you get it?
No, he won't. He talks. He says, we've been trying to pay him. And
so now he won't sell it?
Well, he never said that, but he's not going through with it very easily.
Yeah, you shook his hand at 20.
Oh, you remember what I paid?
Was it a 56 or a 57?
I don't remember.
56, there were 2,400 and some odd built. 57, they only did 466 of them.
So the 7's better?
It's rare.
Right.
And there's some upgrades.
This is the car, dude.
That one I'm excited about.
That Duesenberg's the car.
I got to have the drawings done. Actually, I'm going to call the owner right now. He just texted me. I got to tell him we're going to be at the show this weekend.
This Duesenberg, I mean, it costs like $5 million or some shit like that to build a Riddler car. And I think he and the owner of the car are going to go for it. I'm trying to shame him into it. I'm like, you've got to do this. This is the Riddler winner. This is a Chip Foose Duesenberg. Not like the one you built for Jay Leno. This one's a bad bitch. Out of all the cars y'all are going to see today, this is the one I'm in love with more than any of them. I think that this is, you'll see these drawings. It's amazing. Chip called me on this Boydster #1. Are you familiar with it? And of course I said no. And he explained it to me and said, we've been talking about buying cars together. Why don't we do this one? I said, what's the plan? He said, saving it and making sure it doesn't get in the wrong hands. It is the most recognizable hot rod of all time. And I just took his word for it. And man, I was lucky I did. We did it. We got it.
Thank you.
Where was it?
It was in Minneapolis.
That's right.
Minnesota. Wes Rydell, who's been a great customer of mine for years, he's getting a new Phenom airplane.
Yep.
I designed new graphics for it.
Okay.
And I was working on that project. I knew that he was bringing some cars out to Arizona. So I called his guy, Doug, and I said, when's the next time you're hauling a car? And he says, right after Christmas.
What's the next Greyhound bus to South Cali?
We got the transportation, and then I sent him the airplane graphics. I said, it's just a wash.
That saved us $2,000.
Probably closer to $5,000.
Really?
For a car like this?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to just put this on any truck. You put it on enclosed with somebody that knows what they're doing, so he's not tearing up the bottom of the car or destroying it or putting it with other cars that could leak on top of it.
I had 6 cars on a trailer this morning coming out of California, and I got a call that it was overturned on the border in Mexico. Now, how the hell did they wind up in Laredo from Missouri?
What kind of cars?
Trucks, like new trucks.
Oh, wow.
Very weird.
Your sign that we're going to put with the car, I have the original sign from 30 years ago.
That's awesome.
I had Brock scan it, and we're making a new one, but I wanted to put, give me the VIN, and Foose Design present Boydster, and then owner, I'm going to put your name.
Thank you. That's awesome.
What I'd like to do with this car is I want to see if there's any museums that want the car. And if I got to buy us out of it, I might do that.
AKA Chip ain't letting go of Boydster 1.
If we can find the right home for it, I'd love to do that.
I got you.
And I want to keep my word. I didn't buy this car just to resell it. I want it to be in the right hands. I'd love to own the car myself. It's
just a lot of money.
That was something that I designed for myself before I gave it up to Boyd.
I was looking up some estimated values, and the numbers it was throwing out was ridiculous.
What'd they throw out?
$4 to $5 million.
For this?
Yeah, it might be worth a little more than we thought. I don't know.
That'd be nice. Car has a lot of history.
Yeah.
When I lived in Santa Barbara, I used to do all the t-shirt graphics for San Luis Roadsters. And I did a t-shirt and I designed that car on it, but I did it with fenders. Then I had a pedal car that I started cutting up and I built to look like this car.
Okay.
January 1st of 93 is when I went to work for Boyd. I had been working for Boyd for almost 3 years before that, basically as a hobby.
But you had this design in your pocket.
Well, in 95, Pete Peterson, who was our truck driver, brings in this fiberglass body and drops it in the middle of the shop. And I said, what's this for? And he says, that's Boyd's, he's building another car. I thought, why are we doing that? Because Frank Curry from Curry Enterprises, they build all the rear ends. We had just built a car for him. And with Marcel's Custom Metal, we built a one-off body for Frank Curry where we lengthened the doors and did some other changes to the car. And they built that entire body for us for $12,000. And now we're looking at this fiberglass. So Boyd shows up later that day. And I said, what are we doing with this car? And he says, well, I got Larry building the chassis. We're just going to put that on it. Just going to have a shop car. And I said, you're going to have more money in making this look good than you would if we built a brand new body with Marcel and we make all the changes. And I said, tomorrow I'm going to bring in a little pedal car of what I think we should do. So I brought the pedal car, showed it to Boyd. Boyd grabs the phone off the wall and he says, what's Marcel's number? I tell him the number. He calls Marcel and he says, hey, can I send another 32 out to you? He said, yeah. So I took that fiberglass body and I cut it up and reproportioned it to make the initial buck.
Okay.
Just quickly roughed out what I wanted the car to look at. Hot rods were always hot rods. Customs, they'll section them and wedge cut them and do different things to a custom. I treated a hot rod that way, and that's what this was. So we went out, we built the first body, and we took it to Grand National Roadster Show, and this car won.
Is that it?
This is that car.
Okay. So now you're getting me more excited.
That won the
I just took your word for all this. Now I'm like, oh my God.
it won the
So we got the Mona Lisa.
Yes.
It is worth $5 million now.
This car won the 96 Amber Award, America's Most Beautiful Roadster. Then we built a full fender version. Then we did a 33, 34 fenderless, then a full fendered Roadster. The full fender car didn't get finished at Boyd. It got sold in the auction after the bankruptcy. It was 90% done. Here's your car.
So this is our car out here.
Yeah, this is with the right size tires on it.
Okay.
And then I have this steering wheel being rewrapped right now.
Is this the car?
This is the body buck. We did a wireframe over top of that fiberglass. I was setting up the lathe to machine those front hubs, And Boyd came in and he says, "Oh, let me do that." And so I ran and grabbed my camera and I jumped up on the mill or on the lathe and took that picture. This Duesenberg right back here is the dark blue one-off Duesenberg that is Jay Leno's.
Okay.
And that's another one that was being built for General Lyons. These all three cars were in Marcel's custom metal at the same time. Here's Marcel, that's his son Mark, and that's Boyd. And this is in that shop.
And this is that car right outside
This is
the
that
door.
car when we were building it. The front tires that are coming, these were 195 50-15s. I couldn't find them because they no longer make these tires. I found NOS tires. That's what I've got out here. Here is the 3334 fenderless car. This one was called Simply Red. I actually used the bottom of a 32 grill shell because the 3334 is really peaked.
Yep.
And I laid it back. So this is your car.
Okay.
Right over here. This is this car. This is the full fendered version in the background being built. This is the full fender version, which this car is now black. So that's that. This is your car and this car together.
Where are you and how old are you? There you are, and you're 10. Were you 20 years old?
I was 28 when I first went to work there, full time. Started working with Boyd when I was 25. That's the Boydster 2. This is Simply Red. That was the 29 giveaway car that we did. This one was called the Sport Star, but that's a rig that I did for Boyd. Bobby Alloway had that car called Speed Star. Rat's Glass built, I don't know how many hundreds they built, but it was all based off of this car. And then Boyd redid all of them and made fiberglass cars. But this is the original of all of those cars. It's probably got 1,000 cousins that were all based off of it. Yeah. And when I showed Boyd the pedal car that I did, I said, we're going to wedge section it. We're going to do this. I showed him. Then I did the drawings. And it's the first time anybody had taken basically a 32 Roadster body and really started making a custom out of it.
Right. Are we going into the car barn next door?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. This is Chip's secret car stash. The real good ones are in museums everywhere, actually. Original paint, 55 or 56. I forgot what year that was.
My dad had that exact car that he used to haul his race boat with.
This might put you in a better mood. Not that you're in a bad one, but I just did it again. It wasn't 5. But what is the value of Boydster number 1?
I wouldn't steer you wrong.
We're like the Beverly Hillbillies, man. We hit it.
Shoot. I might have to wear myself a collared shirt.
We're rich. Let's go to a fancy restaurant.
We'll see what it does. It's a Pantera.
Pantera, yeah.
See the door
red?
jamb?
Yep.
See that cup at the top of the door jamb?
Yes.
Where you can put your fingers in?
Yep.
That's a push button Pantera.
And
One of the original 75 that were brought to the States. And this is the number 3 car ever brought to the States.
When did they start them? 68, is that right?
No, 71.
71's the first year?
First year they were brought to the States.
Oh, I didn't know. When did they start
71
building
is the first year because before that was the Mangusta.
Okay.
And I have Steve McQueen's Mangusta.
And it's over at somebody's
Which
museum?
wasn't Steve McQueen's, it was his agent's. But when he was filming that movie with Ali McGraw, and he was having the affair with her, he was borrowing his agent's car, which was this Mangusta, to drive with Ali McGraw so he could hide.
Under the radar?
Yeah.
Under the radar motors.
Yep.
So what are you going to do with this one?
You see all the rust in the rails?
Yeah.
I got to fix all that. And then I have another one outside, push button car. And I was going to make one a real wild custom and restore the other one back to perfect. Was my goal.
How do you really fix it? I mean, you just cut it all out and just rebuild it all and just new, everything's new?
But this one, I think I want to build as the full custom and I'll restore the other one.
Because you're going to have to cut on this one so much.
The other one doesn't have as much rust.
Yeah.
So
is the push button double the value as a non-push button? I bought a 72 in Utah. We stopped on our way to Scottsdale and bought a 53 Vet. It's all papered up. That came from the NCRS president, and a 68 Charger Hemi, all papered up.
See, that's the other Pantera over there.
There you go. Explain to people why you have old machinery versus everybody that has all the new stuff. I find that interesting.
It's all I could afford.
But look at this stuff.
There's history to this.
But you told me you produce a better product with this than the new stuff.
I think it's better than the new stuff. And I can tell you a story about just about every one of these pieces. This Pullmax, I've got all the tooling to do louvers with. And you can make curved louvers, straight louvers. You can end the louvers. And it was owned by Dan Fink. I had heard that he could make the louvers that I wanted. So I went over there and I asked Dan, I said, can you make these louvers? And he points to this machine. He says, that's the machine that will make the louvers. He says, you buy the machine from me and I'll show you how to make it work and I'll do your louvers.
Were they making airplane parts with it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's got this on it.
Yeah. Huh. I told him, I said, well, I don't need the machine. He says, well, if you don't buy the machine, I'm not doing your louvers.
So you got the machine?
So I asked him a price. He gave me a price. I bought the machine and we did those louvers and we use this machine all the time now. The Eckelt over here used to be in the Saab jet in Switzerland where they used to make the jets.
Right.
That's from the jet factory.
What's an example of what you use that machine for?
Shrinking and stretching metal. You can build a whole body with that, with all the different tools.
And what's Big Girl Yoder over there?
The Yoder, that is a hammer, so you can shrink, stretch, and make panels straight, but you can make things happen faster with the Eckelt, but you can flatten it out with this or with the English wheel. Now, this plenishing hammer, we can rough panels out, and I like it for making smaller pieces. We'll use that. And then we've got a couple kick shrinkers and stretchers.
Do most hot rod shops have a tree stump?
This is my computer. This is when I have to log on. I go right here. You can beat the shape of a piece of metal in this.
Yeah.
And then put it in the plenishing hammer or whichever tool you're going to use. But I do more with this than just about any of one of the machines. I mean, this was Marcel from Marcel's Custom Metal. He gave me this log probably in 1995.
Yeah.
And I've had it everywhere I've gone. I finally ended up making a stand for it and put the hammers around it. It is so handy. It's one of the most used tools in the shop.
And all your cars have touched this.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And I've had it on overhauling many, many times. The English wheel was Dave Kent's, who was a metal shaper. And when he passed away, the family was selling this tool.
Are you a fan of Gone in 60 Seconds, the movie? You ever heard of the Eleanor? Watch this shit.
At that time, I was just building the Eleanors for Gone in 60 Seconds.
Right.
And Jeff Mann, who was the art director of the film, asked me if I knew where he could get some sheet metal equipment to use in Otto, was Robert Duvall's character in Gone in 60 Seconds. Mm-hmm. And he needed some tools to put in that shop. I knew that the family was selling this and some other equipment. Mm-hmm. I asked Jeff, I said, will you pay the rental in advance? He said, yes. He gave me a check for $1,800 more than what they wanted for all the equipment, which was a rental. A lot of the equipment that's in the shop today was used in Gone in 60 Seconds. After they finished filming, then they delivered it to my shop. Jeff was looking for some projects to put in the shop also.
For the movie?
Yes, for the movie. And we had built Fred Warren's Shockwave at Boyd's, and I owned the buck, which is up here. So I said, well, I've got this sheet metal, this buck, that this is what we used at Marcel's Custom Metal to build Shockwave. And so they used that in the movie, but he asked me, he says, how much would it cost me to wrap that in sheet metal? And I said, well, what's your budget? He says, what can we get for $8,000? So they shaped all of that metal to put on the buck, and they used that in the movie with the metal on it. So in Gone in 60 Seconds, we split the buck. We had the front half of it on my chassis, the original chassis for the hemisphere. And on the chalkboard, they roll it through one of the scenes, and it's got all these drawings of the hemisphere on that chalkboard.
Where is the hemisphere now?
I've got the hemisphere at the Speedway Museum in Lincoln, Nebraska. There's, I think, 9 cars that I built that are in the museum. Seth Hammond's Bonneville car that I helped him with the body and I painted. Steve Anderson's Medusa, it's a 32 with these crazy headers and it's black with flames, a 5-window coupe. My 56 Ford pickup, my P32, which is a 32 Roadster. My 5-window coupe is there. My dad's 48 Ford is there. My bike that I ended up selling to Ken Reister, it's a copy of the Impression, which I have in the showroom here. Yeah.
And I know I'm working the shit out of you, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think we're going to put together a badass thing. Because you've been doing all this for so long, so many people know all this little stuff.
Most people know me for overhauling.
Right.
But what I really love doing is building cars from scratch.
Let's go look.
Are you a Disney fan?
Yes.
You know the Autopia cars?
Yes.
This is an Autopia car from the 70s.
Okay.
And I've got something over here that's pretty fun. This is a street legal car from China.
Okay.
Electric car. So I've just bought this. I need to stretch the wheelbase 1 inch. And there's a drawing there on the lower right. That's the Autopia car. So I'm going to put that together.
Is it going back over there?
No, this is for me.
Okay. The left one is this year's SEMA Lincoln in a different color.
Yep.
The one up top you had here the other day is in the other building, isn't it?
It's right there.
No, not the one on the right, but the one, the Mustang.
We were just looking at that in that other building. That's the Mustang that's on the floor over there. The Corvette is right in front of the 56 in the spray booth.
Yep.
And then the Autopia car you saw behind the 57 but this is the chassis that's going to go underneath it.
That Utopia car's gonna look good. It's gonna look real
fun.
good.
The Corvette is right here.
God, look at this thing. It's gorgeous, dude. Look at the paint. This thing's a piece of art. I don't know what he's charging the fella, but you can't charge him enough.
Tons of body mods to this. Starting from the front bumper normally sits into the body. This is a 62. 61 and 2 had the 63 style rear end. We blistered those rear quarters. They're 2 inches wider and 1.5 inches taller. But normally they have that peak in the center of the rear.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I radius that so it matches the front, because that peak in the fender didn't make sense to me on this body style. Makes sense on the 63 when they brought that wheel well line that goes all the way around the car. 63, they brought that line all the way around the car, completely around the car. And then all the peaks have the fenders.
My translation of what he just said is when I walked in and saw it, I got the tingle in my loins and I didn't understand why. Because it was something different that I was looking at, right? I just didn't know I felt it, but I couldn't understand what I was seeing, and you just explained it.
We completely reworked the rear quarters. I redesigned the cove. We cut the whole front fender all the way back to the door and pulled that out so it's the same width as the rear, because normally it's just a tiny little lip on the front. We cast the pot metal front covers, made those out of glass and then fit them in, but I also tipped them back so there's a slight peak to both of them. We made these grills smaller. These are made out of solid billet and then chrome plated. Made the front bumper or front grill also out of billet, and because they're made longer. Now, because the rear has that wraparound bumper and the front was set into the body, I've made the front bumper so it's a wraparound bumper and they match. It looks like the same designer did the front bumper and the rear bumper.
Boys and girls, this is why Foose is Foose. This is the little shit that makes you so crazy special. I'm not here to stroke your ego. I'm just telling you the truth.
And then,
I mean, but the brain damage it goes through to do all this. I mean,
there
my
is
God.
so much work in this car. And then if you look, let me open this up.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
LT4 with the Whipple supercharger. It's over 800 horsepower.
Is it somebody's car? What are you doing?
This is for Gary Kropp out of Florida.
Yeah, Gary's going to be real happy.
I hope so.
I think Gary's going to be really happy.
If you want to take the time, take the camera and look down underneath the chassis. All the suspension components match that silver blue that's in the cove.
When's the last time you saw it?
It's probably been 3 years.
He hasn't seen it yet.
No.
He's going to die. How old is he? You might give him a heart attack. This is good.
Bobby and Cindy Alloway, that are bringing the front tires for your car.
Alloway, I keep hearing that name.
He's another builder.
Okay.
And he owns the Triple Crown show.
Oh, he's coming today?
Yeah, he's bringing the tires.
Triple Crown shows, that deal we did in Nashville. Bobby Alloway, the Triple Crown show guy, brought us our tires to the Boydster. And I sit down and do an interview with him too, so subscribe because that one's coming as well. I know all y'all are bitching saying that I don't deserve this, and you're right. But I'm pretty damn excited.
This car.
What am I looking at? I'm impressed.
This car is called Impression. 6 years to build it, but it is completely hand built. We didn't start with a car. I designed this and built it from scratch. This is what I truly love to do. So we won the Riddler with this, and then the next year we came out and won Amber with it. And several cars had done that. John Buck, who owns Grand National Roadster Show, decided he didn't like cars that had already won the Riddler, winning the Amber. He made it so that an Amber contender had to be first time shown.
Can you take an Amber car and go to Riddler with it, or is
Nope.
both rules both ways?
Both have to be first time shown. Let me show you the engine in this.
Oh, wow. So any cleaner than that?
So it's an LS engine, but I wanted it to look like a modern day flathead.
What year was the Riddler on this one?
This one in 2005.
I'm going to change hats. I'm turning into fanboy list and all this stuff. I can't help it. This is too good. When he was in his early 20s at art school, he literally designed the Plymouth Prowler. You're at the art school, you draw this car.
This was my senior year of Art Center, College of Design. Chrysler came in and they asked the students to design a niche market vehicle. This originally had fenders, but the fenders were destroyed in shipping. I sent it back to Chrysler.
How old are you?
Here, I was 24.
Okay, and you'd already started working for Boyd a little bit?
No.
Okay.
This is what led me to Boyd. When he saw this, he asked me to start doing work.
And you were working for a marketing agency or something that sent you to art school, right?
I worked for a design firm in Santa Barbara. They sent me back to Art Center to finish up and get my degree. When you were a student at Art Center, if you were designing hot rods and muscle cars and whatnot, it was really frowned upon. They wanted you just focusing on the future of transportation design. They asked us to create a niche market vehicle, and the example they gave us was a guy that likes to work out on an exercise bike, Maybe that charges a battery, you put that in your car and you go to and from work that day. I'm thinking, I'm never going to do that in my life. But I did about 5 proposals based on what they gave us. And then I did a separate presentation without telling any of the other students or my teachers, where I designed muscle cars and hot rods based on cars that were great examples of good design in Chrysler's past. And this was, I took a plan view of a 33 Plymouth, that teardrop shape, and I took the side view of a 70 Cuda. The rear was a little different, which is more like my hemisphere now.
Right.
And I created this drawing, but I put all my sketches up, 2 presentations. And Tom Gale, who was the president of Chrysler at the time, is who we were presenting to. And he comes up to my wall and he says, okay, I know what you're doing here. This is our project, but what are you doing here? And I said, well, what I was doing here, our project, just like everybody in this class, we are creating a niche market vehicle. And we're also trying to create a customer. I said, what I'm doing over here, I'm catering to customers that exist. There are people out there with muscle cars and hot rods in their side yards or garage that they would love to make reliable so they could drive them daily. I said, and it's not today's designer's fault that designers from the past have gone away from great forms and shapes to create something new. But we have the opportunity here to go back and draw from something that was good and evolve it into something that's great. And I had these drawings. And Tom Gale says to me,
I like you, kid.
He says, what do you want to build? And I said, well, I would love to build, and I pointed to this, and I had some muscle cars also. I'd love to build something over here, but you're going to want me to build something over there. He says, no, I want you to build this one. So I built this, and that was in 1990. December of 90 is when I presented the finished model to Chrysler, and they loved it so much that they built the Prowler.
The Prowler. That's
to
what
say that
I
I designed the Prowler would be a slap in the face to all the engineers and designers that actually made it a reality. But this, even the color, is the inspiration for the Prowler.
That's true. The first one was purple. Yeah. I had a very first one. We paid over sticker, and you know the game. But yours was a rear engine.
And when Boyd saw this, he asked me to start doing work for him. So I started working with Boyd in 1990, and then I went full-time with him in 93.
You know, I love reading those things online where it says, give me the Venice scam. This would have been outed a long time ago. Y'all know where to find me every single Saturday morning for the past 20 years. Go to jcwshow.com, join the Wolfe Pack. We do a tongue-in-cheek Howard Stern meets cars kind of radio show. It's the highest rated national syndicated radio show on the FM airwaves across the United States of America. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that crap. And remember, if you want to sell your car, go to givemethevin.com. And if you want to sell a collection of cars, go to GMTV Garage and hit email John, and that'll go straight to me because I handle the collection.